Hey everyone, we are diving straight into the wild world of operating systems and cybersecurity today. In this explainer, we're going to uncover the actual truth about a system that has completely captured the imagination of millions. It's time to peel back the layers and see how the digital world really works beneath the surface.
So let's start with something you've probably seen, 100 times. You know what I'm talking about, right? Whenever Hollywood shows a hacker breaking into a mainframe, typing furiously in some dark neon-lit room with green text rapidly scrolling down a black screen, they almost always drop the name Kali Linux. It has literally become the ultimate pop culture shorthand for elite hacker. And because of that, a massive misconception has taken root.
But I gotta hit you with some harsh truth right up front. Installing Kali Linux does not make you a hacker. It is a complete illusion. Simply downloading and installing this software won't magically grant you cybersecurity superpowers overnight. To truly understand why, we need to completely deconstruct what this software actually is.
So, here is our mat for today. 1. Debunking Hollywood hacker myths. 2. Linux kernel versus distributions. 3. Why hackers love Kali. 4. Enterprise versus security needs. 5. The real power of Linux. And finally, 6. The ultimate beginner roadmap.
All right, Section 1. Debunking Hollywood hacker myths. What is Linux really?
Think of this journey like opening a set of Russian nesting dolls. Let's open that first, innermost doll. Here's the massive aha moment. Linux itself is not actually a complete operating system. What Linus Torvalds open-sourced back in 1991 was just the kernel. You can kind of think of the kernel as the core engine of a car. It handles the most fundamental, absolute bottom-level tasks, like memory management, scheduling the CPU, controlling network communications, and managing the file system. And without you even knowing it, this exact engine is powering the foundation of Google's Android phones, massive global cloud servers, almost all of the world's supercomputers, and yeah, your everyday internet routers.
Section 2. Linux kernel versus distributions. Building the OS.
Let's move to the next layer out. Because, well, an engine on its own won't actually get you to the grocery store, right? You need a steering wheel, seats, a chassis. So how do we get from that bare kernel to the interfaces we actually click and use every day? To make a usable system, you follow a standard distro recipe. You take that Linux kernel and you add a shell for commands, a package manager to install software, a graphical user interface or GUI so you have Windows and a mouse cursor, and finally system tools and drivers. Different companies and communities mix these specific ingredients together to build their own unique operating systems, which we call Linux distributions or distros for short. For example, Ubuntu mixes these to be super beginner-friendly. Debian mixes them for extreme stability on servers. Arch Linux gives you the raw parts to just build it yourself.
Moving on to Section 3. Why hackers love Kali, the arsenal.
Let's zoom in on the most infamous mix of them all to uncover its true practical purpose in cybersecurity. So why all the fame? Listen, Kali Linux's defining feature isn't that it's inherently stronger or more powerful than Ubuntu or Debian. Not at all. It's simply that Kali Linux is completely packed with built-in penetration testing tools. Almost immediately after installing it, an engineer can start working without having to manually download and configure hundreds of specialized programs.
And when I say packed, I mean packed. It comes with an entire arsenal built right in. You've got Nmap for network scanning, Wireshark for deep packet analysis, Metasploit for testing vulnerabilities, plus Burp Suite, Aircrack NG for wireless network analysis, and tools like Hydra and John the Ripper for password testing. This immense convenience is exactly why security engineers use it. It's basically a pre-built workshop.
This brilliantly illustrates a really vital concept, the kitchen knife analogy. Kali Linux itself is not a hacker tool in a malicious sense. Think about a kitchen knife. It's designed to chop vegetables, but in the wrong hands, it can obviously cause harm. The tool itself has absolutely no inherent good or evil. Kali is just a very sharp knife. The real danger and the real responsibility lies entirely with the person wielding it.
Section 4. Enterprise versus security needs, production reality.
Now let's pivot for a second and contrast this Hollywood hacker fantasy with the rigid, high-stakes reality of corporate IT environments. If Kali is so great, why don't massive companies use it to run their businesses? Well, their design goals are completely opposite. Kali is a testing platform. It's designed for attack simulation and often operates with the highest level root access by default, just to make testing easier. But in an enterprise setting, stability is everything. Systems like Red Hat, Rocky Linux, or Debian are built for long-term support, strict permission isolation, and security systems like CLinux.
Enterprises need the system that provides the rock-solid backbone for global data centers, absolutely not an attack simulator.
All right, Section 5, the real power of Linux, under the hood.
If distros serve such wildly different purposes, why do tech professionals overwhelmingly choose Linux over any other operating system? Let's look under the hood. The real power lies in how these systems operate at the command level. For instance, different distros represent totally different engineering cultures, and you can see this perfectly in their package managers. Debian and Ubuntu use apt, catering to a massive, accessible community. Red Hat uses DNF, built for rigorous enterprise environments. Arch uses Pacman, embodying a highly customized DIY engineer ethos. But despite these differences, they all share a common DNA.
And that common DNA is exactly why the pros truly love Linux. It's not about looking cool. It's about ultimate automation using tools like bash scripts and cron jobs. It's about deep, native network control where you can monitor traffic and modify custom packets directly. And crucially, it's open source. You can actually see the underlying source code. This makes researching vulnerabilities, studying protocols, and understanding how the system actually breathes infinitely easier.
Which brings us to Section 6, the ultimate beginner roadmap, where to start. For those of you excited to learn the actual mechanics, here is your structured roadmap. But first, okay, listen up, because I need to be absolutely crystal clear about this. If you are a beginner, do not start by learning Kali Linux directly. Just don't. If you jump straight into Kali, you will likely just end up clicking buttons on tools without having any clue what the underlying system is actually doing. A truly skilled security engineer doesn't just push a button. They know exactly what is happening behind the scenes when that button is pushed.
So, here is your proper 3-step foundation. Step 1, start with Ubuntu. Learn the basic commands, the file system, and how user permissions work. Step 2, graduate to Debian or Rocky Linux. Learn how to set up servers, configure DNS, write firewall rules, and use Docker. Once you truly understand how to build and defend a system, then and only then do you move to Step 3, Kali Linux. Now you can learn penetration testing, packet analysis, and security tools because your foundation is finally rock solid. So, what is the ultimate takeaway from all this? The magic of Kali Linux isn't magic at all. Between the different Linux distributions, there just isn't one that is objectively the strongest. The true beauty of the whole Linux universe is that it gives you total, unapologetic control over your machine, empowering you to actually understand the digital world rather than just blindly consume it. So as you look at your own computer today, which layer of the system are you going to take control of first?